First, we're going to go over the materials that you're going to need. Guess what? Your materials are going to depend on what beads you're going to use, what kind of drop you want in your necklace, and how heavy your beads are. Of course, the size. So I can't tell you, I think you should start with this, or I think you should start with this string. I think that you need to try all of them, like I did at one point, and I use different ones. I don't have a specific one that I only use. I use a lot of them, and I'm going to tell you some of my favorites and how they kind of look in the necklaces. Okay, let me go over the materials we're going to use today. We're going to do the strings last so we can talk about that. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a crafting tweezer, and this is the one that I recommend that has that little very thin point, and it looks like a pelican. This is the one, and it's a reverse one. You have to put the pressure down to open so that when you are holding something, it will take the tension of trying to have it held down. It actually closes up when you let go. Okay, and these are available on my my virtual showcase. The same way you can find Carol's is the same way you can find mine, and it's by going to my profile, and they are available on my virtual showcase. Okay, just in case you don't have any, these are amazing, and ask Vicky, you guys. Vicky has some of these too. We are going to be using a measuring tape. You definitely need a measuring tape, and a lighting device. Okay, a lighter, something you can cinch your string with. You want to use that. That is a must when it comes to these necklaces. And also, we're going to use a large focal. I have chosen to use one of these. It's one of my favorite things to use when it comes to these, because I like all these pretty colors. And you can use anything. You can use a coin bead. You can use a flower bead. You can use anything that is a focal, and focal meaning anything that is 15 millimeters and up. I think that's a great size for these types of necklaces. Okay, you're going to need beads, any type of beads that you want to use. Today we're going to be using the sparkly rondelles. We're going to do these glass ones with seed beads, black seed beads in the mix. So we're going to do that. So you choose the type of beads that you want to do your necklace in. Okay, I suggest that you get one of these needles that is actually just the beading wire folded in half. The beading wire folded in half really helps getting your beads through your string. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. And now we're going to talk about crochet hooks and the string according to what beads we're going to use. These are 6 millimeter beads. These are 4, okay? So I can use any type of string that I want to use. You can even use a thicker one, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I really like the Ceylon or Eslon nylon string. Okay, I really like this string. A lot of people might find it too rigid, but that's okay, because at the end I will tell you how to maybe soften this up a little bit more. And I like the drop on it. Something that's very similar and maybe has a softer feel to it is this one. And this one is from Wally World, and you will find it in the yarn section. Okay, and this is also thin. So this is 0.5 millimeters, which today I'm going to be using this one in black. Okay, so this type of string is going to be in the color black for us today. Okay, the beads that I'm going to be using fit these and this size, the 0.5. Yes, it's the same size. Let's see, it is 0.5. Okay. And then for the 6 mm, you can also use 0.8. Yes, it is. It's like a mixture of polyester and nylon, but this one is nylon. Definitely is nylon. Okay, we're just talking about that, Alicia. We're getting to that right now. So this one is 0.8 millimeter. You can also use that one with the 6 mm if you'd like. If you are using 4 mm and 6 mm, I recommend a smaller size like the 0.5. If you are crocheting with 6 mm, over 6 mm beads, I recommend the 0.8. But that doesn't mean you don't, you have to specifically use those beads. You are going to look at the string, and maybe you like that chunky look. You know, maybe you like a 1 millimeter nylon cord, and you like, you know, 8 mm beads. It's up to you. You are going to, I'm going to teach you how to do a gauge test, or a test to see your fall, how it is, what it looks like, and how rigid it is, because that's going to determine the whole look and the fall of your necklace. So if you're using a 0.5 millimeter, stay within the 4 to 6 millimeter beads. Okay, I wouldn't go over 6 millimeter, as my experience has been. Okay, so this is a 0.8 millimeter. We use this a lot in macrame. This is considered the macrame cord, and yes, you can crochet with it. And then, like I said, you can use 6, 8 mm beads on this size. There's also differences between a different type, which is this one. This is a polyester blend. Look at the difference. I love when I do this demo, or when I show this type of string. This is very soft. It has a very pretty fall to it. And I usually hold up the nylon cord, and you see how the nylon cord is like very rigid, right? And then you have the S-lon, which is also very rigid, which means if I hold it out like that, it's gonna stay in position, right? But then we have this one that goes boop. Boop. Okay, so this is a very softer drop. Okay, this one is going to be looser. It's going to be nicer. This string is hard to find, and I recommend you searching it up with the name polyester nylon together. Okay, it's like a blend. Okay, so this one is, I'm holding on to with my life with this one. Okay, because that's my last spool of that color. And then there's also 0.5 millimeter nylon cord that's also soft. It's softer than this one. Okay, and this is just a regular nylon cord. Okay, 0.5. See this one? Very thin. So you have so many options. Now let me show you the difference in what I mean on what it looks like. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the crochet hooks that would go with each of these sizes. And this is very important. Before, I know a lot of people are like, get to the class, please, you know, start teaching. But this is part of the class. This is part of how important it is for you to choose the right string for you, the right cord. What I like to do, what I recommend, that doesn't mean that you are going to like it, that you're going to like the feel of it, or that you're going to like the drop to it. Okay. And then we're going to talk about crochet hooks in a minute. So I want to show you with this one, this is one of the necklaces that I did. As you can see, I used 4 millimeter beads, 4 millimeter. So if you like that chunky string look and you like the 4 mm, you can use the 4 mm. Okay. And your chains may look different because it depends on what crochet hook you use with the string. So with a 0.5 millimeter string, like the one that we're going to be using today, which is a very thin one, 0.5, I always recommend anything between a 1.1, which is a 1.10 millimeter crochet hook. Now these sometimes may be a little hard when you're doing it for the first time. So I recommend that you get a 1.90 millimeter. Okay. If you are using, if you're using a 0.5, get a 1.5. I don't have 1.5s available right now, but these two are also in my virtual showcase. These sizes 1.10 and 1.90. Okay. So for the 0.5 millimeter, anywhere between 0.10 and 1.5 gives you a really pretty chain size. Okay. For 8.8 millimeter, anywhere from a 1.5 to a 1.90 millimeters. Okay. You can even use a 2 millimeter, depending on how loose you want your chains, and you will see the difference when we start teaching you. Yeah. ZulyBella has them, just saying. All right, so these are the ones that we're going to be demonstrating with today. I love my 1.10 millimeter for my 0.5, okay? But for you, beginner, you're absolutely starting to crochet for your first time today or learning, get something bigger, like a 1.5 or a 1.9 or a 2, if you're going to use 0.8 or 0.5, okay? I don't want you to get frustrated with it. So as you can see, this one has a really nice drop, and it's really, really pretty. That one's used like that. This one has a mixture of sizes, and it's also 0.8 in the same type of string. But this one has a variety of 6 mm and 4 mm. See how pretty that looks? And this one was crocheted with a 1.9. Okay? See? If I would have used something bigger, these would have been looser, and I wouldn't have liked the way that looked. And the fall is really pretty. Now we're going to go into the thinner one. If you look at this one, this has a 0.5, which is the one we're going to be using today. And this one is with some Picasso small 4 mm. So look at how dainty that looks. It's a really pretty stitch to it. Very dainty, very, very dainty. You see that? Okay, that's the 0.5. Very demure. This one is a 0.5. This one's a 0.5 with a 1.10. And this one is a 0.5 that I did with 6 mm and 4 mm. And this one I went up to, I believe, my 1.75 one. It's a little bigger, okay? So this is the style of necklace we're going to learn today. Okay? And then the last one as the demo is this dainty one. Again, my 0.5. As you can see, I love a 1.5. But look at what I did here. Do you see the chains? Do you see how you can see that space in between? That's because I used a bigger crochet hook, which was my 1.90. Okay. Yes. Yes. I put on, I made them ergonomic. What is it called? So that I crochet as if I'm, you know, like a knife, holding a knife. So I made them to where, because they're so small and thin, they're not poking right here. And so they are already with them. You can see them on my showcase. There's some in this style and then some in this style. Just like that. And then this can also be used to those that crochet like you're writing like with a pencil. I don't like to crochet like that. And we're going to go into how I hold my crochet hook. And now we're going to get started with the crocheting part and explaining how many beads do you need for your necklace, and what size you want to make it. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Amy. They're like that. I have them. I don't have them by themselves. Okay, guys. All right. Do we have any questions about the materials? You have any questions about the materials? Okay. So now we're going to get started with designing. Okay? Just imagine some letters up here saying designing part. Okay. So now we're going to start with how many beads do you need and how are you going to design it? It's not as simple as when we make necklaces with nylon, with our beading board and, our, what's it called? Our beading wire. You have to use math. I said a word that not a lot of people like. We have to calculate based on the size of your beads, how many beads you are going to, what size of beads you're going to use, and what size of necklace that you're going to do. The kind of necklace we're doing today is the one with the focal. That one has no clasp. That one it just goes over your head. And in order for it to fit my big head, which if you're making these to be available on your showcase or your in-person events, you want to make sure that it fits through their head, right? So it's really important that you do it the right size. So what's going to happen is you have to figure out and do a test on how many beads, the pattern that you want. So let me show you how we're going to determine this, okay? All right, so I chose my colors. Okay, yeah, you stick to your stick to your method, Miss Vicky. That works for you. I can't do it. I mean, I can, but then my eyes twitch. I can't do it. Can't do it. All right, so what's going to happen is I thought about a pattern that I wanted of how much chains are going to go in between each of the sets that I'm going to crochet. So my pattern, I chose that I wanted a 6mm bead and a 4mm separated by maybe 3 to 4 chains. So I look, right? And the way I figured out how many beads I put on here is because I want approximately about 26 inches. That is approximately. It's not going to be right on because we all work different tension, okay? So you have to do a test first to see what your tension is like, what, how, you know, how big of a space you're going to leave because your chains might not come out the same. So it's really important to figure out your tension, okay? Which means you want to keep it in the same tension, and I'm going to teach you how to do that, okay? So what, double pink? Where's double pink? Oh, yes, there is a reason for that, Nordic Luna. We're going to talk about it right now. All right, so I want my necklace to, so that when it, I'm glad you caught it. You are good. I thought I was going to have to point it out. I go, did you guys notice anything different? Okay, so the kind of necklace that we're doing is this. I want the style to match, to mirror each other. Okay, so I already did my test, but I'm going to show you how I did it. And it came out that I needed to make 13 sets of these. I needed 13 sets of the pink and black, and then, pink bead, a 6mm and a 4mm. I had to do 13 sets because that was going to be equivalent between the beads. I'm going to put 4 chains between every 2 beads, and that's going to give me about an inch. So I'm going to need about 13 sets. So when I get to my 13 sets, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go the opposite way. So that when my necklace is here, when my necklace is crocheted, it mirrors each other. Okay? You see what I mean? If I were to just do this, it's going to not end the same. Okay? Like I said, if you like it any other way, you guys can do that. I really like it to kind of match each other. My eye will twitch if that doesn't happen. Okay? Unless it's requested or unless I do something else. Okay? Because just like Nordic Luna, there's always going to be someone that's going to look at that necklace and be like, why you have 2 pinks together? What, did you have 2 pinks? What happened there? Okay? So there's a reason for my madness. It doesn't have to be this way, but just know that if you continuously put the 26 sets, that it's not going to end the way it started. Okay? So once you love the reason? Oh, good. Okay. All right. So this is how you're going to do your test of the beads. So you're going to figure out a pattern that you like. Maybe it's a chaos one. So all you have to know is how many beads in that chaos mix are 6mm and 4mm. So you want to make sure that your pattern includes all of the bead sizes in that mix. Does that make sense? So let's say you have a mix like this, and I want to use this one, and this little one. Let's just say these are my beads that I want to use. Oh, and maybe this one here. I'll have this one over here. Okay, so maybe this is my pattern. We're going to figure out how many chains you want to make in between each of these, and you're going to lay it out. So a pattern means if it's going to be repetitive, how many are you going to approximately need? Because you can string as many as you want and then stop when it's ready to go. A lot of people do that. Like Vicky just told us, she does that. So she'll put on all the beads. The thing is that when you do that, you don't know exactly how many you're going to put on, so you have to put on a lot. so that you can get to the length that you want. Because we pre-string the beads on the spool like this. Okay, so I don't take and cut my string off of the spool. Okay, that's why it's important for me to lay out my design. Okay, so this could be considered a pattern. So do I want to start with 2 chains in between, the 2 here, 2 in between, and so forth? Then that's what you're going to decide. Okay, and you're going to put it on the string that you are going to be crocheting in. Okay, once you get that that string or that pattern onto your string, this is what you're going to do. You're going to grab, my pattern is 2 beads, and I want to do four chains in between because I kind of want to separate it. And I'm going to be using my 1.10. Okay, and I'm going to explain very slowly how to start your crocheting. So for those absolute beginners, give me 1 second. Let me just show the crocheters how they would do their test here. Okay, so you're going to start with your slip knot. Okay, so this is to begin. So I want to begin with 4 chains. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to pull 1. And I will slow this down. This is just my test I'm doing so that I can show you how to measure it and how I determine. And then I don't want these to have a separation because I want them to be together. So they are going to be chain stitched together. And that's what I want as a pattern. And then I'm going to do 1, 4. Okay, a total of 4. 2, 3, and 4. That is my pattern right there. Okay, so I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to measure. I'm going to pull this away. And now I'm going to measure it like this. So I want to measure 4 chains and my beads, because that's all the beads that I'm going to be using in the size. So you see around there, it's about 1 inch or so. That's how much the 1.10 millimeter hook gives me. So now I know if I want to make this around a 26-inch necklace or more, I'm going to have to do 13 sets of the on one side and 13 set on the other. So a total of 26, because it's going to give me 1 inch per set. And so it's going to end up being about the 26 inches or so. Does that make sense? Okay. And you also want to consider what the crochet hook size. So I use the 110. So now let's do the same thing with the 1.90 millimeter. I'm going to do 4 chains. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chains. You see they're a little bit bigger. So it doesn't matter what I use or how I teach it. If you don't have the same material or the same size hooks, then you wouldn't be able, your necklace might be longer. Okay. And also the tension has a lot to do with it. And then I'm just going to do 4 more, just to 3 and 4. Okay. Yes, Mitra. So now I'm going to lay it down again. And look what happened. I went from 1 inch to about a little over 1 inch because of that 1.9. Oh, wait. Yep. Because it got right there. Okay, so that's going to add a little bit of length, because you see the 1 inch, it's halfway on that bead, where before it was right there. So it's going to make a little bit of a difference, okay? And also if your chain is looser or your tension is looser, then that's when it's going to be a problem, okay? Any questions about that? Let me know. Now we're going to start the fun part. Yes, Mitra, the one we're using today, the one we're using right now is, okay, my absolute beginners. Are you ready to start crocheting for your first time today with the chain stitch? I recommend that you practice with a bigger string. If you're going to make this type of necklace, use a 0.8 with a 1.9 millimeter hook. All right, for those that are doing this for the first time, this is the way I hold. Okay, let me see. Okay. All right, let's get this. Okay, I hold my crochet hook like if I was holding a knife. Okay, I rest my thumb on this rest right here, and I hold it like this, and this is how I crochet. It gives me less movement in my wrist, and because I was a hairstylist for 100 years, I don't want to mess up my hands, and I've taken really good care of my hands. So I know a lot of people that crochet like this. To me, you're digging, and it's creating a full rotation of the wrist. If that's what you like to do, take care of, don't crochet for long periods of time. Okay, I like this, and I like the ergonomic handles, and yes, they are available at ZulyBella. All right, so now you're going to get your string, okay, and I'm going to show you how I do it real fast, like that, and I pull through, and that's my slip stitch, okay, or my starting stitch. Okay, so if you look, if we break it down, I do a loop that goes like this, right? So we're going to break it down. I do that loop. I then bring that loop into the strand here and then pull it through that, okay? So if we're doing this on the table, it's putting that loop, taking it, picking it up, and putting it on top of here, like this. And then picking this up. And there's your beginning sliding out like that, okay? And then that one can go securely onto your hook, okay? One more time. You're going to twist it like this. So the loop is going to go like you're just twisting the string you grab from the top, and you just, okay, so you grab the string from the top, make a little peak, then you are going to twist it to the right. See, we go from here to here, okay? So that this part right here, this loop part is on top of your short string, okay? Once you're there, you're going to grab that loop that you have here. You're going to pick it up, and you are going to put it on top of this, laying like this, and then you can even grab it with your crochet hook, pick it up, and then just pull it, okay? And that is the way I feel it's easier for you to start, okay? So that is how you do the beginning. Then, you know, when you get comfortable, you can get your own technique, kind of like what I do with one hand, and then just make it like that, okay? But I broke it down for you so you can see. You want to leave, when you're doing a crochet necklace like this, I want to leave quite a bit. I don't know what this is approximately, but some people say leave about 4 inches. I leave as much as you want. This is quite a bit, right? And then you're going to do that slip knot. Okay, it's going to go on your hook on your right dominant hand. Okay, and then you're going to hold your crochet hook with your thumb here, this in the back, if you want to hold it like I do, and then like this. Okay, if you don't have this type of hook, it might feel a little different. Okay, so our dominant hand is going to be the one we're going to hook with. Okay, this is our dominant hand. For me, it's my right. I'm going to hook this one. This is the short end, the one that is not attached to the spool, and then we have the working strand that is attached to the spool. Okay, and we don't cut it off from the spool, and we pre-string our design on. Okay, now this is how you're going to hold it. I think about your hand like this, put it in front of you, and what you're going to see is my hands like this first. I am going to pull this 2 fingers down, and it's going to look like I'm doing a pew-pew, okay? I want to get it close, leaving about that much from my hook to my pointer, and I'm holding it like this, okay? And then these middle finger and the thumb finger is going to hold that short strand. This is where your tension happens, okay? So if you have it too far away and you're way over here, look at that tension. That is going to be so hard to crochet with. It's very loose, okay? So what you want to do is you want to grab it as close as you can to your hook. You're going to put your hand like this. You're going to put your hand like this in front of you. You're going to do like you have like a pew-pew, and then you're going to wrap it around the top of your pointer and hold it to your palm with the 3 fingers. And then you're going to take your middle finger and your thumb and pinch it here. And this is what it should look like. So the shape of your hand should look like this. 2 fingers down, holding the other one, middle and thumb, and the one that holds your yarn over, okay? Any questions about that before I continue? No questions? Keep practicing that. Practice holding it. And see, I have it here. And this is going to be holding this very close also. You don't want to hold it here. You want to hold it right there. Okay? So now, oh good. So now you are going to, for those that are beginners, you want to point, the crochet hook has a little nose right there. A little nose, okay? That's your hook. And that is where your tension is going to happen here. You want to keep it as tense as you can. Not too close, not too tight. And then you're going to do something we call yarn over. You're going to put your hook towards you, right? Facing you, the little nose facing you. You're going to yarn over. You're going to go under that string in the back, like this. And do you see when you grab this, it's going to hook on? You see how it's hooked onto the hook? Now what I like to do is I like to turn it down so that way it hooks better. And I want to make sure that I'm holding it really close because I want to be able to pull it through that beginning stitch. Okay, you see that? All right. When you do this, you want to keep moving your fingers up, and you're going to do it again. Go underneath. You're going to push the little hook down, and then you're going to pull it through. Again, that's our second. And then we're going to do it again. Third, yarn over. You see how I do this? Like that. Like this, just a little bit, not too much, to help it hook on. Then I turn it down. And then I make sure that my tension and my chain here, I'm holding this close by so I can do my forward. So you see how nice and even those chains are. Okay? Any questions about this part? Okay. Okay, our slip. I'm going to do it with something whiter. Clearer, I should say, because this is a beige color or a cream color. And then go down, yarn over, pull the hook nose down, pull it through the thing. If you open up like this, don't yarn over. You want to pull with this finger so that it tenses back. The shape or the size should be the width of this, the girth of this hook, okay? This is the size of the hook. This is where you get your 1.10. So they're all around the same. All right, so now you're going to yarn over. Make sure you put that hook down before, and you're going to go through and then lift up, facing up again. And that goes again. And that way. And you want to move it as you go along. Okay? So no questions? You see how pretty that looks? Once you get the hang of actually getting the tension. The secret or the tip of how you're going to get the same tension is you always want to move up as close as you can to hold it in place. And then, so it doesn't matter how small your crochet hook is or how big it is. What's important is your tension, okay? Any questions? Well, I'm glad you were able to see it, Mimi. And you guys have a question? If you're working along with me, let me know. I am going to, while we do this, I am going to say hello to everyone that is here. The rest of the people were like, too much math. Okay. All right. So now we're going to start making and crocheting. Leisha, how you doing? Okay. Twisty, this might not be as tight. Are you going under and pulling through and then under again? Just keeping the same 3 and 4. Now, what is that is twisty? The beads. Okay. If you're already in the beads, back up or pay attention to what I'm going to do, because there is a trick to how you're going to crochet your beads. So if you're already doing beads, okay, if it's your beads, this might be the reason why. Okay. All right. So when you're doing the beads, what we're going to do is you don't want to keep the size of the hook as your chain size. Okay. You want, yay, Amy, I'll go ahead and get them out to you tomorrow. You want to lift it to the size of the bead. Okay. Because what's going to happen is this, watch. Let me show you what happens. So I'm going to do it just with the size of the hook. Okay. Yeah. I know, but it's okay because now you're going to see the difference. So I'm doing it at the size of the hook. I'm not even raising it up. So guess what's going to happen? Look at this. Then they start twisting. Okay, because I didn't give the size of the bead any consideration and I don't give it space. Okay, so it's really nice to have the tension on the chains the same, but it's a very common beginner mistake to do it the same size as the hook. You're actually going to make your work kind of have a curve. Okay, and we don't want that. We want it to be loose on the chain, on the chains that you're doing. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to bring your bead towards this, and then you're going to lift it a little bit so that you can even go overboard and just hold it there, and then get it to where you know it's going to be the size to be on the top. Then you're going to go under it, and then what you're going to do, suggestion or recommendation or a tip, however you want to call it, is hold your bead with the size of the, see, now it's on top of my bead, and now I'm going to come here and I'm going to go through. Okay, so that's going to stay there, and now I'm going to bring the next bead, and I don't want a space in between this one because I'm doing a certain pattern, and I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to stretch my hook here, and then I'm going to do my chain. Okay, so do you see how nicer that lays, Leisha? Now you are going to have them where they twist back and forth, or they become where one face is one way, one face is the other. Not all crochet necklaces are all going to stay on one side, okay? Unless you really, really like, at the end I will show you what I do to them so that I can loosen up the fibers in the string so that it can have a better drop. And with use, they will become softer, and that is okay. So then when you keep it this way, you want to make sure that it's not too loose and that it is ready to go to the next one. Then here you're going to do the 4. 1, 2, or how many chains you want. Okay. Yes. All right. So now every time we bring a bead down, to keep it in that place, Leisha, so that it can kind of come out nice, you want to extend it out. Hold your bead in its place, and then, like you said, even if you do extend it out a little bit more, you pull it and it tightens up. Okay, so you can set it back and then do the same thing. Lottie, sorry guys, my Lottie Mod is playing with her squeaky toy. Okay, so you see that? Do you guys see how pretty that is? Mimi, I think you had a question about the string. This one is 0.5 millimeter nylon cord. Okay. All right. So we're going to continue crocheting because I want to show you how you can end your bracelet. I mean necklace. Okay. So crochet along with us. Have any questions of what we're doing? What we're making. Look at how pretty that combo looks. I like the way it falls, and I like the separation on it. Okay, I'm gonna crochet with some music on, and then when we start the class again to finish it, then I will definitely turn off the music. Okay. All right, so I'm at the end. You guys are at the end, and I'm going to end with my pattern is 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I'm going to do that extra one because this is the one I'm going to pull and close this with. Okay, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull that till I have quite a bit on there, length. Then I'm going to grab my scissors and you're going to cut right there. Okay, and now, of course, Leisha, I already cut it though. Okay, so I pull, you pull all the way out, pull all the way out, and then when you get to the end, you're going to cut, and then you're going to pull the one that's attached to the spool, you're going to pull, and then you're going to pull on this. So that one is finished off. Okay? So now you have your necklace done. Okay? All right. And now, this is what I recommend for everybody that is doing these types of necklaces. Here, before you add your focal or how you're going to join it, you can do many different closures on this. I'm going to teach you how to do this with this focal bead. So I'm going to teach you how I did that one. And I have a recommendation. Before doing that, this is what I personally do all my chains that I crochet. I steam them, or you can block them is what it's called. So what you can do is you can put this in warm water. You can just put a bowl. Let's say this is the bowl. And you can put water here, and you're going to soak. Don't cut anything off yet. You're going to soak this, okay? Once you soak it, you are going to place it. You can either place it on a board and pin it, and you want to pin it to whatever direction your beads you want them to go to, right? So you want to pin them so that it's holding it straight. And you're going to stretch it out. And you're going to put a pin right there. And then you want to make sure that you're doing it long enough to cover the whole necklace, and you're going to stretch it like this, and you're going to let it dry. This is going to loosen it up. Or if you have a steam iron, all you do is just steam iron it. Steam iron it. Okay? Then, once it's dry, it will have a different fall to it. It will loosen up the fibers in your necklace. I like this kind of string because it doesn't really need a lot of, what's it called? Blocking, because it has a very nice natural fall to it already. Okay? I like the way it falls. It doesn't crunch up. It's really pretty. All right? But you can do that with yours before you do your end of it. All right? So now you're going to determine what style of closure you want. Do you want it to be a wrap, like I showed you with these? A wrap, you can do it where there's no closure. And so these are just kind of like, you know, the little ties that we use, what is it called? Lariats or boho style. A lot of people wore in the, like, the 90s, 2000s maybe, where you do this kind of thing and it hangs there. You can also wear a clip with it. All right, so let's finish this one. At the end here, this is where your lighter is going to come in handy. We want to make a needle. I can't show you on TikTok how to make the needle, but I will. I do have a video on my TikTok on how to do it. Okay, so you create your needle, the needle on here, and just cut off the extra pieces. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I want to end this with one of the blue ones on this end. And I want to put, because my focal bead that I'm going to be using has a big opening. Okay? It is on here, Leisha, on TikTok. It has a big opening. You see how big of an opening? So if I were to knot this, it will not stay. It will, the string will go through. So I'm going to be putting a bead first that has a smaller hole. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay. No, I mean, it's on there as not as an alone video. It's part of my macrame tutorials. But it is on TikTok. Okay, so now I'm going to put this bead on my 6mm bead. Okay. And now I'm going to pull. So that's going to be my bead before my focal. Okay, and it matches because I have pink here, so now I did this blue. I have my purple and my, okay. And now I am going to put my focal. I can do my needle. With this one I can do my needle. And here, because there's a big enough hole, it's easier. Okay, like this. And then I'm going to put another blue one. And then I'm going to put another one because I'm going to knot it and I need uh-oh, where'd my other string go? Beautiful. I love it when they all come through. Okay. Okay. See how pretty that looks? Let me take this one out. Okay, guys. Let's see. Now we're going to do a knot. Let's do a knot. Oh, this is gorgeous. I can't keep it. I have to keep reminding myself. I can't keep it. Can't keep it. All right. So this is where our tool, our beautiful tweezers come in. And I am going to, we want to get that knot as close as you can to that bead. Okay. So you're going to wrap it around. And then I'm going to hold it with this one here. Then I'm going to take this tweezers and then I'm going to hold my tweezers right there. Okay, and this is what I like about these tweezers because I can let go and these are holding my string in place. Okay, so now I can come and get this piece that I have over here. Oh, wait. Never mind. Hold on, guys. I forgot to do one step. Rewind. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to do your overhand like this. You're going to hold it here. Then you're going to bring this one towards this way through. Okay, now you're going to put it back. You're going to hold it. And now you go in with your tweezers. Okay, you're going to hold that right there. And then you're going to let go of this. And then you're going to pull. And now you're going to release the tweezers. So these are the reverse tweezers. So I have to hold it down in order to pull it out. And then I'm going to push my knot down. Can you see that? Okay. So now that's what we have. Some people like the way that looks and will cut it off here and then burn it off. I kind of like the hanging part of it. So I'm going to do a little hanging on each side, a little bead on each side. I'm actually going to do the combination of the beads that we use. I'm doing a seed bead. I gotta cut it again. And I have these tweezers available in my showcase as well for you. I have them in black and in silver or steel color and the rainbow. Okay. I'm going to do that one. Then I am going to do, should we do one or two, guys? Should we do just one or both colors? What do you think? I think since we did both, okay. Since we have blue here, I think we need to put pink or violet or whatever this color is. And then the blue again. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's figure out whereabouts we're gonna want it. Yep, right about there. I don't want it too long. So this is, I'm gonna hold where I want my knot to be. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one with one string. And then I'm gonna pull it through here to do the overhand knot. Pull it back here. And then I'm going to take it and put my tweezers where I want them. And then I'm going to hold this part right here with this hand. Because remember, my tweezers are the ones that are reversible. So I'm going to see if that lays at a good length. I like it. So I'm going to now do the knot. Okay, let me see though. I think I might need, okay, I think I might need something smaller because it's only one here. So let's get something smaller. Okay, I know what. I'm going to do a 3mm here, whatever the size is. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because it doesn't, if I do one alone there, it's going to go through the beads. So I'm going to put this way at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? Because my knot's going to be super thin because it only has one strand now. So I'm going to put this, let's see if I can get this in, guys, because this one is very small. Yay! So I'm just going to put that one in there so that when I do my knot, I'm glad that happened so I can show you guys. Okay? Kind of matches the blue one a little bit, so it's going to be good. All right, so now I can do my knot where I want it to go, because if we wouldn't have done that, it would have taken us where the knot I did was going to go straight through the beads and they were going to fall off. Okay, now we're going to hold it where we want it. Alicia, how you doing? Okay, yep, right about there. And now I'm going to pull. And then I'm going to take this and then tighten it. So now that bead holds it. You see that? So you want to make sure that if you're using the 0.5, you're putting a small bead so that it doesn't, that knot doesn't go through. Okay? Or you could do double. But I would rather do this one, because once you start doing doubles, it just gets too bulky. Okay, I'm going to cut it right there, and now I'm going to carefully, oh my gosh, you guys, this is the part that I get so scared all the time. Okay, now I'm going to pull this away from the camera, but I'm going to take my lighter. I'm not going to touch it with my flame. I'm just going to kind of melt it. Okay. So there, it's burned off. And then if I try to do that, it doesn't come off. Okay, and now we're going to do the same with the other to be completely done. Doesn't look pretty? Okay, so we're going to do the seed bead. Then we did, which one did we do? The pink. It's like a pink or a purple. Looks like a Barney purple. Okay, and the blue. The blue, and then the last one. If you guys make your crochet necklace, I would really love to see what you designed, what you did with it. It's really fun to see. And no, I did not invent crochet necklaces, but my style is different from the ones out there. So if you see any with that type of focal and this type of end, you definitely know it's Zuly inspired. But crochet necklaces have been around for a long time, guys. It's gonna be on my short little thing.